Good morning and welcome to the NMU Board of Trustees Academic Affairs Committee. With me today are Trustee Steve Lindberg, Trustee Greg Sepinen, Trustee Greg Toutant, ex officio Chair Steve Young, and ex officio President Brock Tessman. First on our agenda, we have an Academic Senate update from Dr. Jamie Crabb.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Oh,
It was. Apparently, I'm really quiet. Not usually my problem. Okay, so thank you for inviting me to speak on behalf of Academic Senate. So I provided you guys a report in your packet. There are a couple things that I want to highlight in regards to the report. So if you look, Amaret Langwell will be returning to Senate, so Donna Schaefer will be, and it's from the previous listing, but Donna Schaefer will be leaving Senate, and then Michael Joy was covering for Dr. Tim Compton's sabbatical, and Dr. Compton is coming back as well. One other thing I would like to do is I'd like to recognize we had Major Scott Little, and he has now advanced to Lieutenant Colonel Scott Little, which is really awesome. So super excited for him for that military rank promotion. We are really lucky to have such an amazing faculty on campus, and I think that our students, our campus, and our community benefit from it. We're a pretty hardworking group of individuals. We've had a lot of proposals come into the Academic Senate. And as you know, we have the proposals come from our outlying Senate committees, and then we go through and we review those not only in exec Senate, but then also at the full Senate. And they go through 2 readings, and we vote and we discuss, and hopefully those proposals go through. So we hope to have many more proposals coming through in winter 2024, and I do know as far as our undergraduate programs committee that we have quite a few coming from them. So when I look at what we did this fall semester, we did have one posthumous degree, which I had alluded to the last time that I talked to you guys, and that went through Senate successfully, and the family was very appreciative that we were able to do that. So I am excited about that. We had 6 revised programs, 3 new courses that were added. Flip my page here. 22 revised courses, 4 course deletions, and then 1 individually created program. Ironically, we still had 1 meeting before I had to submit the report to you, so on top of that, we have an additional 13 revised courses, 3 new courses, 8 deletions from the graduate bulletin, and 1 actual course deletion. We had guest speakers come to Senate, so they come and kind of identify things that maybe are going on in campus, or maybe we've heard from senators that they have questions or concerns about that. One such speaker that we had that was not listed on your previous packet was Bill Richards and Emily Bachman-Thiel, and they came and talked about the new update to the Banner 9 system. So that was a wonderful conversation. They provided resources, which we sent out then to the faculty community. Dr. Tessman came on December 5th, and he talked about sustainability. We have our International Programs Office that is coming in January of '24. And then we also are looking forward to inviting the new director, I should say, of the Center for Native American Studies. So we're hoping for fall of '24 that they're able to come and talk to us as well. I may or may not be in this role, so, but we're hoping. I was also approached by Amara Bridger Wilson. She'd like to come talk about our library acquisitions and also our open education resource group that we have working on campus. So looking at trying to make the cost of resources very affordable for our students. So We, of course, as we make our recommendations, we forward those to the provost, and so far, everything has been approved, which is really amazing, and I'm super excited about that. So as I look to the winter semester, the things that I know that are coming up, like I said, we have our information coming from the undergraduate program committee. We have some graduate study conversations that need to happen about how we count credits. And I gather that that will be a very interesting conversation as it comes forward. We also have started conversations with ASNMU about getting a grief policy on campus, which we think is really important. We do, or we have seen some conversations about College America and just concerns about how if we get rid of some of the remediated courses, are we serving our student body? So that also has come up at Senate. We did forward a need assessment, I guess I would say, to Dale to create a posthumous degree policy. So it makes it easier. Everyone's on the same playing field. We know exactly what we need to go through in order to do that, and so that it is the same for everyone. Faculty have expressed concern over the lifting of the measles policy, and that is something that we definitely probably need to dive into just a little bit more, and see if we can get everyone on the same page with that. And that came up with when we had admissions come and talk to us, and then also at President Tessman's forum. So the other thing that I wanted to say was we are working with the registrar's office. So there is a AccuLog system and a Curriculog system. They're basically designed to make it easier for the proposals to come to Senate, and hopefully that will ease some of the issues that we've been running into in Senate. So that's out there as well. You guys have the dates of the meetings. You guys are all welcome to come. Thank you to Trustee Sepinen for coming. He got to view a very interesting and exciting Senate meeting. Everyone should be that lucky. And so that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Any questions?
Yeah. Anybody have any?
Maybe one question. The grief policy that they want explored is, how's the process work then? Do you solicit kind of more feedback and then you take it up collectively from a Senate standpoint?
So I really think that the policy will actually come to us from ASNMU, and if not from ASNMU, they'll send it to AAPC, which is our academic policy committee. When I talk to ASNMU, I really encourage them that I think we need to do kind of a needs assessment, not only for the students, but also from the faculty and staff perspective, to see what exactly is being done on campus so we can make it consistent.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? I should probably know this, but can you refresh College of America?
So College of America was a group that came here to talk about remediation courses, and their stance, my understanding, because I was on Zoom while listening to them, was that you wanted to get rid of the remediation courses, but you wanted to have resources in your courses that kind of supported the student. But we know that some students really need those remediation courses. The problem is credit load, and you run into financial burden associated, and so.
Okay. No more questions? Well, thank you. We appreciate all the work that the Senate does.
Thank you.
For your report. Okay. Next, we have a charter schools update by Dr. William Pistolka.
Good morning, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to sub for Dr. Holder today. Just put this in context a little bit. I was a charter schools officer here at Northern from 2007 to 2017, and then semi-retired and came back into the position of external affairs and board relations, and continue to work in the office with Dr. Holder. So again, thank you for allowing me this opportunity. Within, excuse me, you do have your packet from Dr. Holder, and within that, I'd like to highlight some of the items that he has provided you. First of all, we do have 4 schools up for reauthorization. We've done the first round with them, gathering information with East Shore Leadership Academy, Francis Ray, George Crockett, and North Star Montessori. Our next steps will be working into January, rebuilding the contracts with them, and then getting it to you for your Bay Board meeting with our reauthorization recommendations. Secondly, we are working on our current performance framework, addressing that with new information that we're looking at through the National Association of Charter Schools authorizers, and they have provided a framework that we're utilizing to rebuild and look at what we're doing with schools, some things dealing with more mission-specific, whole students, and of course, off of COVID, the social and emotional aspect that we're dealing with many of our students. Next, we did have an opportunity this year to provide an academic performance to each of our schools and actually have Dr. Betty LaPointe, head of academics within our office, attend board meetings, provide them that information, and take questions. We found that to be very beneficial for board members to get a closer look and an understanding of where they stand and how we're operating within each school. Next item you have within your packet would be the different dashboards and the color-coded information that Dr. Holder provides. As he points out, this is really a process. I look at it, we're giving you a snapshot of an ongoing movie. Here's the highlights, here's the things that we're really looking at, and this snapshot gives you that information, but it's a continuation, it's a process, and as I said, an ongoing ability to review, work with our schools, and have information for where they're doing really well and where they need to improve and where we can provide support and help within that. Yes, sir.
Doctor, could I ask you just a couple questions on that?
Sure.
And I looked at note 3 at the beginning, and it basically said Burton Glen and South Point Scholars and Walton are National Heritage Academies, and it wanted to alert us that the unrestricted cash days. Can you fill us in why you look at their
Sure.
the color-coded charts and you go, oh my God, there's a problem here?
And there's not a problem, and that's why that's noted accordingly. National Heritage Academies is a management company that supports those 3 schools. They use a sweeps account is how they work with that. So within the framework of their process of managing the school, think of it as a turnkey approach. They provide the school all what they need, and then the school does not really keep a fund balance, if you will. That stays through the management company. So it's how the management company operates within their financial and fiscal responsibility to the board.
Okay, so that's why when you look at it, they're all red and you go, there's a reason for it.
And there's a reason for it and not a concern with it.
Okay.
But to monitor that and to try to keep an equal playing field with all of our schools, we need to put it as a red and then with explanation.
And they are a for-profit?
Yes, they are.
Are they the only for-profits in here?
The Leona Group is a nonprofit, and so they would be our only for-profit, correct.
And that brings me down to the flip side of it.
Okay?
And that was looking at one of the schools that we have right up here.
North Star Montessori.
Right. And I was looking at their financials. And, let me just pull it up here.
Sure.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was looking at the positive fund balance as a percent of revenue, and I saw it at 55%. I mean, they're swimming in cash.
I'm going to say yes and no.
My assumption is that they have a capital project they're looking at?
They're looking at a capital project. They also have a loan coming due with the elementary building and some other buildings that they put in place. So they've been saving specifically to make those payments and keep things in position so they don't run into a problem in the future. So they've done an excellent job, actually, of building up that capital, but it's designated for future use.
And the reason I brought that up, because that is the flip side of what we just had, and there's a logical explanation for it.
And there is a logical explanation.
Is there the first thing I thought of was maybe there's a better way to monitor the cash issue, and one would be an interest of me as a former school teacher.
Okay.
Looking at how much they actually spend per student in any given year. Is that something that would be a good measuring tool?
I don't want to speak for Dr. Holder at this time. This would be, I think, something he would have to look at along with our financial person, Sandy Deno. And from my perspective, I don't think you're asking anything that couldn't be done. But again, I don't feel comfortable speaking for Dr. Holder.
Would you
on that.
pass that on? Just
I would
as
be
a
happy to
question?
pass
Thank
that
you very
on.
much.
Yes. With that, are there any other additional questions?
I think, Bill, just looking ahead, is there plans to add any additional charter schools?
We continue to have that conversation internally of what direction we want to go. One of the things we want to make sure of that we're providing all we can for the current 9 schools we have, and that we are able to meet their needs, authorize them appropriately, and then the discussion becomes, if we would add, what would that look like? What would be the purpose? And what would be within Northern Michigan University? Is that an area of growth that they would like to see? So at this point, to answer your question, no, we don't have a plan. Do we talk about it on a regular basis? Yes.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Is that it? Well, thank you. We appreciate your report.
All right, thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have a presentation by Ms. Carol Johnson, the Dean of the College of Business. Oh, Carol.
Good morning. I brought a whole team with me, so, because you'd really rather hear from the people that do all the hard work. And so we'll make this very interactive. What I first wanted to start with was a big thank you for the opportunity to come and tell our story. I'm very proud of the impact of the College of Business on the university. And the 2 seals that are on this first slide indicate our accreditation through the business accreditation, the international accreditation, AACSB, and our Center of Academic Excellence for Cyber. Those are both very significant, and we'll talk more about those as we go along. So thank you again. On this slide, I'm showing our enrollment throughout several years. And we see that at this time, our enrollment is about almost 11% of the university's enrollment. So we see a very positive trend, and I'm proud of that as well. The next slide, of course, I'll apologize up front. I am an accountant, so I am a numbers person. I like to look at them. We look at the impact of majors, of minors, what our graduates program has grown to. Also, what type of production do we have with respect to student credit hours? We also are doing that with a fairly lean staff. We also want to recognize and explain that our student profile, most of our students are full-time. Many of our students are tip students who start with an associate degree program and matriculate to a bachelor's program. We also notice that most of our students are taking a lot of credits each semester and are very successful. The interesting thing that kind of bucks the university trend is looking at enrollment by gender. The university as a whole has percentages just the opposite of the College of Business. And so we see more males enrolling in the College of Business than females. But we're working on getting that to at least 50-50 or 51-49, not sure. The other thing to notice is 90% of our students are bachelor's candidates. Now, some of my colleagues are going to speak to what we're doing in various programming. I want to make a note that it's kind of like your children. I'm just choosing a couple today. I hope you'll invite me back where I can talk about some of our other programs. But I want to tell you what we're doing. We're trying to reduce barriers. One of the barriers that we have reduced is our College of Business application. It's gone. We are now managing matriculation to degree by prerequisites. So that's a barrier reduction. We are also offering our classes in not all of them, but many of them in 8-week formats. We have the opportunity for students to start a class, complete it, take another class, maybe step out. We're noticing our students are different from when I went to school 100 years ago. We also are looking at our curriculum. We are noticing that sometimes we have a lot of students moving in and out, and we see that the requirements for general education, we've needed to step back from those. We are now recommending certain courses, not requiring them. For example, a student may transfer to us from Bay College with psych. We're not going to make them retake it here at Northern. We're going to help them get through, complete their degree in as timely a fashion as possible. We are also going through, because part of our goal with accreditation is continuous improvement. Continuous improvement means we update our curriculum on a regular basis. We also really believe in a 21st century ready student. Intro to business, corporate sustainability, personal financial management, cyber fundamentals. We want those in our general education program. So far, 3 of them are. We just found out that our cyber fundamentals was approved. We have a 32 credit business core. All majors in the College of Business, except the ones listed here, take that business core, which allows for movement. Somebody may start out as a marketing major, and we bring them into accounting because of some of our fabulous professors. We also provide a great deal of service. We support other programs on campus: medicinal plant chemistry, social media management, construction management, indoor agriculture. I feel like a politician in the sense that we are meeting our colleagues in other disciplines and looking to see if we can work together. Fine arts is a great example of that. I believe the university will be successful if we do those things. You probably already know our diverse program offering. I've listed them here. In bold are the programs that are relatively new. We've had great success with those. We are meeting our metrics. We also offer associate and minor degrees. What I want to highlight here, though, is those additional credit offerings, CTE credits. We are offering CTE credits for accounting, intro to business, CIS 222, and intro to marketing. Students can take courses in CTE programs, get college credit for them. We also offer CLEP credit. We offer and respect dual enrollment, and we are working very hard. We're so grateful. We have great student success specialists with community college transfers. This is who our faculty is. 23 of them who work very hard. We're working at always recruiting more, and we want diverse faculty. So this is it's in your packet, you can see it. I'll stop now. I'll let my colleague talk about our Master's in Business program, but I'm gonna come back and talk about one at the end.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to chat about our graduate programs. And for anyone who's ever known me in a meeting, being brief is usually quite a challenge for me, but certainly I'm going to respect your time today and be brief. What I wanted to talk about, I wanted to refer to the distinctions of our Masters of Business Administration programs. And the one major distinction of our program is that we offer both online synchronous and asynchronous courses. And I'd like to just talk about the synchronous courses just for a moment. We run dual enrollment, meaning that our faculty are both in the class in our wonderful Hardin facilities. Thank you to our audio visual team for being the coordinators of our Zoom sessions. But we also simultaneously run our synchronous Zoom class. So we can have students both from across the world and, in our classrooms at the same time. And in surveying our students, our graduates, that has been a hallmark of our program, that simultaneous hybrid type offering. We do also offer some asynchronous courses along the way. Another distinction of our program, and like I said, I'll be brief, but we have 7 points of entry in our program throughout the year, why that's unique is because we can continue to admit students throughout all of those points. We offer classes in January, March. We offer them again in May, June, in July, in August. And then we also offer something called a winterim class, which a few of those classes are taught every winter. I usually teach one of those, and I'll start another class on Monday. But that has helped with enrollment truly. And as far as our enrollment, as you saw, we now have 3 programs for the graduate program. We have our MBA that's general, which is 10 courses, 3 credits, 30 credits in total, which means students can finish in a year if they were to continue full time. We also have our +1 program, which is for our accounting professionals to obtain their 150 credit hours for their CPA licensure. And finally, we've recently added a business analytics concentration, which has grown in popularity. And again, still 10 courses, 3 credits each, but we change up the required courses. So before I ask my accounting colleague to come to the podium, does anyone have any questions for me about the Masters of Business Administration program? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Morning. So I'm Kevin Berry. I'm one of our 5 accounting faculty members. And so we just wanted to,
You're tall.
a loud voice too. Touch on briefly, if they can go to the next slide, I believe. Oh, is that up to us?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have approximately 100 majors in accounting. We graduate, I believe, 25 a year, approximately 10 go on and get the 4+1, which has helped us greatly recruit for the CPA track. So most of our students go on to go into the CPA track, almost all of them. There's the odd one that doesn't. And so they need 150 credit hours in most jurisdictions to be a CPA, and so that's how we've addressed it. Other things we're doing, we have a accounting club, we're AACSB, so the Beta Alpha Psi is the honorary accounting club for AACSB schools, and most recently they took a trip to E&Y, so it's very competitive right now for our accounting majors. I think since I've been in it, it's probably the first time last year since the starting salary moved. It always was around 50, 55, now it's as high as 75 to start. So that's important for our students, and we're trying to get them out there. They've also switched from, there used to be a standard recruiting, it would be last week of September, first week of October nationwide. Now it seems to be a free-for-all, so our students are going to come back in January and interview for internships for summer 2025. And so we're looking at sophomores interviewing, or first they'll have like a week of classes as a junior to interview for jobs that far away. Anything else? Questions? Thank you.
Now who you really want to visit with is a student. This is Maggie.
Hi, my name is Maggie Boberka. I was born and raised in Marquette, and I'm a senior here at NMU studying business management. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the impact of entrepreneurship, not only on my life, but the lives of the people in the community. So in Management 215, we were split up into groups and created businesses and then gave all of our net profits to charities in the community. My group created Positive Polly Tees. We made sustainably made t-shirts with positive quotes on the back of them. We picked Bay Cliff as our charity to donate all of our net profits to. In this class, I learned how to create a website, market my business through social media, word of mouth, and spreading posters around the community. And I also learned how to be financially responsible of my business through QuickBooks. At the end of the 5 weeks that we sold the t-shirts for, we sold over 100 t-shirts and made over $500 for Bay Cliff. So this impacted Bay Cliff by they put that money in a fund and they were able to make a new building for their campers. I am still in touch with the people of Bay Cliff. I got a Christmas card with them from them yesterday in the mail, and I go to see them once a year when I go on retreat, and we talk about what they're doing at their camp and how it impacted them. Entrepreneurship is really going to impact my life because in the future I would love to open my own business, a bakery, and now I know how to market it on social media. I know how to create my own website and learn how to meet people around the community to help me with that.
Thank you, that's great work. Does anybody have questions for her? Are you-
I'll say this is a program, this is in its 3rd semester. The professor in charge of that program, Professor Bodman, is here. And we have been so fortunate. TV6, I saw Clint earlier. They've promoted this program. I have 2 links in the packet for you if you want to take a look at that. And there's the newest one. It just happened, what was it, Corey, Monday? Yeah.
And are you planning to stay in Marquette?
No, actually, I am going to be a missionary with a group called Focus. They're the Fellowship of Catholic University Students, and I'll be sent somewhere in the United States to, be a missionary and help other students be able to do what I have done.
Wonderful,
That's great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Hee-Jung Park, Assistant Professor of the Marketing. And then before talking about my Google certification, I would like to share some of my experience. So fortunately, I received the TLAC conference grant several times from our university. And then that's why I attended some marketing and the business education conference in the United States. And then at the conference, I met some of the faculty, and then they talk about the practical knowledge and the practical skill in the conference. Why? Because many of the company want to hire a person who have the more practical skill and then practical knowledge. That's why I think about the Google certification in my class. So before talking about the Google certification, I would like to discuss the 3 facts that we have to know. The first fact, in the job market, roughly 250 applications received every year for the one position, meaning is that our students going to more compete than the before. Second problem is that the 55% of the college students feel that college did not prepare them with the practical knowledge, meaning is that they are going to losing their confidence in the job market. And the last one is that most of the employer review students' resume only 6 and then 7 seconds, meaning is that they have to catch their eyes as much as they can. That's why I emphasize this kind of the certification to my students. If you want to compete with somebody, you have to have the weapon. Certification going to be their weapon. I believe that. And then in my class, I try to have the more connection between the practical skill and then professional knowledge in there based on the case study, real case study. What's a real case study? Most of the faculty already use the case study, but they have the answer for some project. However, real case study based on that one, student can more think about their own creative idea, and then they can develop, they can finish this class very well. At the end of the semester, most of my students take this exam and then receive the Google certification, and then they are adding that one onto their resume. And then one of my students, Kevin, will share his real thought and then experience about it.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin Dinzer. I'm from Heartland, Michigan, located downstate, and I'm a senior here at Northern Michigan University studying marketing. As Dr. Park mentioned, I have several certifications with the Google Ad courses. These courses help increase my proficiency in areas such as AI-powered searches, mobile user experience, data privacy, and determining company success based on advertisement quantitative data known as analytics. These have benefited me in several ways. The first one is that it helps me stand apart from my peers when applying for positions. A lot of employers are looking for candidates that already have the skills and the abilities to perform, and having certifications to back my knowledge is invaluable. My second reason is that when I'm applying for positions, it allows me to have more credibility in my resume. As I apply, I'm always looking for ways to prove my worth as far as my resume goes. Recommendations and letters of reference and recommendations are definitely helpful, but having concrete evidence such as a certification is greatly beneficial. Being able to pair my certifications with my education is an invaluable skill that I love to have. And for my third and final point, it is that there's a power behind the certification. As my generation enters the workforce, we become more and more reliant on technology, but not everybody has the same access to technology. And with my certifications, I have access to Google advertisement information and data that only people with my certification can access. I have and I will continue to benefit from these certifications as it is relevant to my workforce. It makes me more valuable to employers, as well as makes me more confident when I'm applying to positions. Thank you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Amazing students. We talk about impact, we talk about societal impact. And so those are some illustrations and demonstrations of what's happening in the School of Business. I mentioned, I feel as though all of our programs are children, and I am highlighting a few of them. And again, I would love to come back and talk about a few others if you're so inclined. Cyber defense, information assurance. I think it's important to stress we've got 80 majors. This program has been growing year after year. One of the things, and they continue to change, and they continue to get better. We are now an Amazon Academy, which is amazing. It will allow the opportunity for professors, not just within the College of Business, in math and computer science, to take advantage of the opportunities within this academy. Now, technically, I can't answer those questions. The professor that does know more about this is busy moving us. We're losing our space in Hardin Hall, and so we're busy relocating. We have one tenure track faculty member, and we have a one 3-year term. These folks do amazing work. They have also gone through the process in general education to have our Cyber Fundamentals course added to the curriculum, which I am absolutely delighted about, not just for our college, but for every student on NMU, because I think that is an important thing that every student is exposed to. We also want to recognize that we are at the two-year mark in our designation for Center of Academic Excellence. It is easy to lose Center of Academic Excellence. We have to work very hard at it, just like we do with our AACSB accreditation. So we will continue to do the things that we need to do. We have identified 6 learning objectives. We are doing actually it's finished now, exams are over, exit exam to identify those objectives, and Jim is piloting it this December. And then we're also going to be working on some competency statements so that we can provide the documentation that is required by Department of Homeland Security. So this is, again, another important program, and the impact, in my opinion, is huge. I would love to answer any questions you have, and I know that my colleagues would too, so ask away.
First of all, I am so happy to see that enrollment is up. I have a
Me
small,
too.
yeah, I have a small CPA firm, and I've been looking for someone, and you cannot find anyone. And even around in the other CPA firms, I know they're all looking for accountants, and I'm just happy to see that that's up, because every week we turn away clients because we're at capacity.
We are, career exploration is one of those things I also believe very strongly in. And I think getting into some high schools, middle schools, and working on that career exploration, that's going to help because it is a great field.
It is.
And-
Well,
and-
you can go anywhere with it.
Yes.
So one thing that I did note was 21st Century Ready, the cybersecurity fundamentals. So this year, for 2024, in order to get my PTIN, which is the number that identifies me with the IRS to prepare taxes, you have to have a WISP, which is a Written Information Security Plan. Not only your hard copy documents, but your online documents. So this is just I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I do too. I think we make a lot of assumptions when students come to us from high school. And I think we really have to step up and lean into going back to those fundamentals and saying, okay, let's not make those assumptions because we know what that does.
And the young student, I can't remember her
Maggie.
name. Maggie. I'm glad to hear you want to open your own bakery, because I wish all of my clients that have businesses also had a background in accounting, because it would really help. But that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
Any
Yes.
other questions?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so blessed. I have an abundance of resources with respect to my faculty, and I have a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate the presentation, and I hope that we can get you back.
I'll come.
Well, that's it. That's all of our agenda. So, meeting adjourned. Okay. Oh, thank you. Here, do you want this one?